Welcome back, everybody, to a one-on-one hangout session in the treehouse. And today we have Lozo here, who currently has his first campaign on Kickstarter, CRHYME. Do you want to introduce yourself, Lozo, and tell little people about who you are?
Absolutely. So yeah, my nickname is Lozo. That's from my DJ days where I was a vinyl turntablist and DJ. My real name is Lorenzo Flores, and huge hip hop music guy that has always been a comic book fan. Used to draw them when I was in elementary school, and always had a love for storytelling and unique stories and unique perspectives. And found myself building playlists about some of my favorite hip hop songs. And then one of the themes was around songs that had to do with crime scenes, and that led me down this path of telling a story as if like what happened if a detective rolled up on one of these hip hop crime scenes, and how would they piece together what exactly happened, and then from that seed created a gigantic story and have launched CRHYME. And here we
That's
are
that's
today.
that's awesome. How long did this project take you to do? Like
From initiate like from the initial idea, almost 4 years.
4 years.
And a lot of time, the first probably year of it was just kind of bouncing the idea around in my head. And then I was like, I love this idea. I don't know how to write stories. And so I spent a lot of hours on YouTube watching and following a bunch of comic book creators and the guys and girls that would do live streams, and how do you do a story arc and a 7-part story series. And I just educated myself by learning from those that did it. I funded projects on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I bought independent comic books and graphic novels, and then I asked questions, and I would send them emails and ask questions and do some of their things just to really understand how to write a good, effective story, and how do you have a page turn and all these things. And so I spent almost like 9 months just learning about it before I even started to write the story. And then I learned a Scrivener, and I was learning how like the Marvel way of writing scripts and the other ways of writing scripts, and it was a lot of time educating myself. And then I finished the script in July of 2020. So it's almost been 2 years from the time the script was finished to where we are today, kind of on the tail end of the Kickstarter.
That's insane. And I think a lot of people are wondering how to do it right.
Mhm.
A lot of new creators, and I think you just lay the roadmap of everything they need to do, because you have to study and research. You have to take your time to make sure the launch is successful. It doesn't just happen. It's not like, oh, this is your first one. It just happened like that for you. No, it's like this was 4 years in the making. In particular, I did the same exact thing all of last year. Honestly, I was just studying Kickstarters, particularly the big guys, Charlie Stickney, Pat Chan, all these names that were just like going down the line. Even mini successful ones, or like giant successes. I studied them all, everything in between.
Mhm.
It's important to know what works, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like, because honestly, you have to take everything in and then all just do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. But you have to see what the rules are, what works, what doesn't work, to be informed, make informed decisions.
Y-
And even that, you also said, asking people for advice.
mhm.
That might be the biggest thing I think a lot of new creators do not do.
Mhm.
Again, I think you had help with our good friend Kyle Willis over here.
Yeah.
How do you know him?
Yeah.
And he was on this channel before, but how do you know him? How did that relationship start?
Yeah, so you can actually see there's some artwork. I'll use my other finger over here. That's Kyle's artwork right here. I have like 3 or 4 of his pieces in my studio. So I lived in Jacksonville, Florida for a good amount of years. And he actually did, so my first podcast, Life of Lozo, he did that. That was the first
Hmm.
piece he ever did for me. And now I got Deadpool over here with a turntable. I've got all kinds of cool stuff that he's done. But I went into a local hip hop night where they were doing some local performances. I had an open mic, and like I mentioned earlier, I was a DJ for a lot of years. I have a massive vinyl collection. I'm way into hip hop, specifically like the mid 90s to early 2000s, kind of that golden decade in my mind of the 90s of hip hop. And I went to the event, and Kyle was there, and he was selling raffle tickets for a piece of his art. And
Hmm.
so he had a bunch of bins of things like that. And so I bought a couple raffle tickets. I didn't win. I'm still salty because it was a dope piece that he had. But I got his name and his number. And I was like, yo, is it cool if I reach out to you for some artwork? And so he's like, yeah, of course. And so I reached out to him. He did the kind of the logo and the artwork for my podcast. And then we just kind of became friends. And I'm always impressed with people who have unbelievable talents and things that I think I do well, but also things that I've no like business doing. And so it just blew my mind to see the type of creativity and the quality of art that he did. And like I said, we just became friends over the years, and I would
Yeah.
purchase art for him. I did my best to find different places for him to bring his art to life in the different things that I was involved in. He did some really cool stuff for Fender Guitar Company. One of his pieces, for people that are music fans, John Five, guitarist, amazing guitarist from Fender. He has one of Kyle's pieces hanging in his living room,
Oh,
of
wow.
Leo
Yeah.
Fender, and it's amazing. And like, it's just like, so like, anyway, I just share that because we really nerded out about hip hop and art, and then we became really good friends. And he's just been a mentor for me. He's been a friend for me. He's always been there. And it's just been a reciprocal relationship. And then Dustin Brunel, one of his friends that I met through Kyle, also a huge resource for me. Somebody that I would call and say, "Talk to me about Kickstarter, man. How does this work? I see you doing these campaigns." And so, yeah, just been amazing friends and great resources.
Kyle
And yeah,
Kyle in
just great.
particular, I've only known him for a short period of time, maybe honestly a few weeks, and we've come so close. We
Yeah.
we talk late into the nights, like at midnight we have our best conversations, and yeah, he's one of those people. He's really easy to talk to. I
Mhm.
think it's also because he is a comic shop owner, but he himself started out at cons as a local artist,
Yep.
so he understands the struggle and he's always willing to give back. And I think having his mindset is that he understands and he's willing to give back. It's really amazing. He's very unique in that sense of everybody I've met in the comic book genre so far in the comic landscape. But yeah, he's been a great friend. I want to shift onto your current project called Detective Crime, and the first thing Kyle told me about it was that it was unlike anything he's seen before because of the hand painted nature of your pages. Can you just talk about the artist, Steven?
Steven, yep. Steven Messias. So Steven, is kind of in the campaign here, went to school for art and design. And I went, so basically what I did is I wrote the script, and then I went on to some Facebook pages and some different spaces, and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for an artist." And that's something that you do on Facebook. And they have the kind of, I didn't want to go the Fiverr route. I just felt like I want to work with an artist, especially like an independent artist, or somebody that will kind of put their passion and their vision into my story. And so I went on these Facebook pages, and here's kind of what I did. And again, you talked about earlier, like what I believe is the right thing to do. I found people and I said, "Look, I'm looking for an artist. I'm willing to pay for you to do a scene from my script." And so I created the script of, here's what I want in the scene, here's the characters, here's the references for those characters, and I did all this stuff. And people that responded to my Facebook group, I was like, "What do you charge?" And they might say $75, $200, whatever it was. And I said,
Yeah.
"Cool, I will pay you. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want." And really, what I was trying to assess was, do people get work done on time? What's it like to work with them and collaborate with them? What type of vision are they bringing my story or my direction to life with? And I'm trying to find an artist for this graphic novel. And Steven was a part of that group. And he's like, he's like, "I'm on there, but I don't really do a lot. I just kind of check it out." And he's like, "I saw your kind of idea." And so he reached out to me and he sent me some art, and I was like, "I want to pay you for it." And he goes, "Let me just show you what I can do." And he did it. And then we had this conversation about hip hop, and it meant a lot to him. And he resonated with these stories, and he resonated with the idea. And then he was the one who was like, I don't know if you have the time, but like, I hand paint. And that's what I want to do. But it'd take me a long time. Plus, Steven's like, he's got two boys. He has a full-time job. And like, and so he was just like, "It might take me a while, but I will do it." And I said, "We have time, because this is a passion project." And I love the idea of having somebody who understands what I'm trying to bring to life in the story. And so he helped me a lot, because when I wrote the script, I had a lot of detail, and he was like, "This is cool, but this doesn't work. Let me try this." And so it's been almost 2 years that he's been painting these pages
That
for the graphic
is
novel.
wild, and I understand that. So actually, my book that's currently out, Elixir, I started with Pack just about 2 years ago. I know the exact date. It's on my Kickstarter page. May 31st, 2019 is when we first connected, and he believed in the project so much and believed in me. So I understand your
Yes.
connection with the artist has to, I understand
Gotta
exactly
be.
what you're saying. It's something really special. And I've done other projects before and I have other, but something about this is special because that connection with the artist. And I feel like you have that here. And this is Steven here, right? I'm
Yep,
not.
that's Steve and his family. Yep,
And
absolutely.
what does he do? He doesn't draw. He's not a full time artist, right? Does he? I think
No,
I read something
no.
like
Yeah, he works for a like a he I say, like, I guess, educated administrator,
to teachers.
and athletic director, exactly, in Sacramento, California. Yep.
That's wild. And how does he like did he always want to paint? Is this like again? You said this was his first thing for him to
Yeah.
do something like this. It was quite insane. Like who did he have guiding him? Was it Kyle as well? Like
No, he literally, went to school for art, had a love for art, and in our first conversation, what he shared with me, he goes, "I've always wanted to put out a graphic novel or a comic book." And he goes, "But I'm not a writer." And he goes, "The things that I've always read, like they didn't hit me in the heart. Like I didn't like the stories didn't land with me."
yeah,
And he goes, and he kind of got away from art for a long, long time. And then he had just gotten back into it. He goes, "I really want to do this and put my passion out there." And he said, "And it's important to me for my kids that," I said, "I've always wanted to put a book out." And so, like, just being able to do it and have it out to say that I've done something that's been a lifelong goal is something I want to be able to do because I want them to know that they can do anything they put their mind to, no matter how old they are. And
yes,
so, for me, similar to me, he had a why and a reason that was bigger than just let's do a book and let's get it on Kickstarter and let's try to sell something. Like this was about doing something that we both wanted to do for ourselves,
yes.
and stretch ourselves creatively and do it the right way. And that's why I was like, I knew he was the right guy at that point because like I understood what he was saying and I understood the importance of just saying that you're going to do something and getting it done at some point in your life. And I mean, and since then we've talked about it, man. Just we have so many ideas, so many things that we want to do now because the collaboration is so good, and when we inspire each other, constantly,
That's
which is awesome.
amazing. And that's what you have to look for in an artist, truly, because that's what's going to keep you going, the momentum going. Again through 2 years.
Yeah.
Through 4 years. There's one more thing here. About I see at the bottom here on the screen something about some original vinyl drops. Can you explain more about the music? How like what is this? Is this like actual a soundtrack you're making for the book, or what's happening here?
No, so I've got a couple thousand records that are all original pressings from the late 90s and early 2000s. And some of these artists that I have here are artists that inspired the story for Crime. And this, the detective novel is based on hip hop lyrics. And so I thought
Oh
it would be
wow.
kind of cool to do something different and not just have, just the graphic novel, but then we have pins and stickers and all types of creative things that we've done from the tier standpoint. But one of the things I wanted to do was drop these kind of vinyl drops where it's like you can get a copy of the graphic novel and you can get this original pressing record that I have here in my studio that I will mail to you along with the graphic novel, just as something cool and different. And so I put them up. I only let them run for 24 hours. If people get them, they get them. But it's something different. Like I said, it's just because music is such a big part of this project. I
Yeah.
thought it would be kind of cool to send out some vinyl.
That is awesome. I
Yeah.
myself, I'm drawn to music. I actually had a brief stint in the music world, doing business management for
Okay.
bands and musicians. So I am actually trying to now bridge this gap between music and comics. I think it's going to really elevate. That's why I was so drawn to your project in particular, not only because of artwork, not just because of Kyle, because you were trying to combine your loves of music and comics, which there's nothing better than that. I see it, and I want more people to do that. Not only, but I want people to do it the right way and successfully. I'm actually trying to make a music video for my next book,
Nice.
and trying to attach an original song to it because kind of like how to do movies. Do you have any plans for that? Did that cross your mind to make a soundtrack or to make a song for this book?
Absolutely. So a couple things that we're doing next up. Actually, shout out to my boy Matt Styles. Yes, I have artists right now that have written some songs and have done some original music just based on the basic concepts alone. And they're actually going to be getting advanced copies from a creator copy of the graphic novel, so they can take in the whole story. And then what we're doing next is an audio drama. So I want to take the graphic novel, I want to create an audio drama to go along with it that will have original soundtrack, original songs, just another type of platform to consume the storyline with voice actors. I've actually got, I've already have some people that have done some readings for me and everything, because audio podcasting, that's my world. And so I
Yeah,
kind of feel like taking it from there to there is going to be really, really cool. But that's exactly what the intent is I want to
dude.
kind of create its own little universe.
I love that. I love people who think big and
Yeah.
think past, just the book, right? And I think that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing here. I think again, that's like one of the first times I've heard that actually, but it makes perfect sense. And there's a reason why audiobooks get more readings than regular books today, in the current day. It's because people can just press play on their commute, on their on their drive, and they can hear and get really into the story. They can understand, they just have to hear it, and it plays out like almost like a movie in their in their minds. And that's something very cool. And I can't wait for that to drop. But you have a few more days. You have one more week in this campaign in particular. Um, did you expect this to get 5K? See here, you have a $1,500 goal. What was your
No,
expectations going into this, and did you where are you right now, and where do you think it's going to end up?
yeah, it's funny. We've been working on this for a couple of years, and because of my background in music and Steven's background in art, like we have a pretty good network of people, and a lot of people from the first time I wrote the script in 2020, I actually had beta readers. I had people that read through the script that had no, like that were either into hip hop and really understood all of the nuance and all of all the Easter eggs. And then we had people that had no idea about hip hop, that I wanted them to read it as a detective novel kind of. And
Okay.
so having them and having them support for so many years and everything, we knew that people were interested, and we knew that people wanted to support us. I just was like, like $1,500, that seems good. Like, we want to put this out anyway. The right before we launched that night, before I walked in the studio here, I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "What do you think is going to happen?" I was like, "I really don't know. Like, it'd be cool if we could get, a little bit of movement on the first night." And
Yes.
she was like, "I think it's going to be really big." And I was like, like, because that was never the intent. Again, like, it was a
Yeah.
passion thing. And
Yes.
so for it to get funded so quickly, and then for it to get the legs that it has behind it now, has really just been amazing. And we're so grateful. And so, we have a week left. Steven and I have plans to do another live on Instagram. We have a couple little surprises up our sleeves towards the end here. But now I'm a little bit nervous because of the logistics of the like we're gonna ship everything, and we have some really cool things that we're able to do now in regards to shipping and stuff that's come to life as a result of the Kickstarter doing what it's done. But it's a again, I don't know where it's going to end. We're hopeful that we see that we have another tier unlock at 7,500. We'll see if we get there. But we're just excited to see what happens.
Another tier. Awesome. I'm super excited. There's one more thing I want to bring up. In particular, you got this forward fund from Kickstarter. And you said you didn't know what this was, right? Um, I
Yeah.
just I just want to bring it up because so I actually had to do some some deep dives into this, and apparently it's a combination between Kickstarter, Creative Capital, and Skull Foundation. And what
Hmm.
they did is they created a fund that backs projects by Asian, Black, and Latinx creators on the crowdfunding platform, and it's across every single area, right? We see here it's oh sorry, this tab here. So it's again the Kickstarter Skull Foundation, and what they do here is they choose very particular things, projects across all the categories of Kickstarter that they feel best represents what their fund is trying to do, promote diversity. And you got this, and this was amazing because I actually had to look this up, and you actually have to apply to this. So I think this is also something for creators to know that there are outlets out there that you can like a grant like this, but there's also, I'm sure there's many more that you can kind of look into and help fund your Kickstarter, your dreams, whatever your project is,
Yeah.
especially if you're part of the steppers
As
groups.
you went through it, and as I thought about it, like there was like a survey that I took at the beginning, like through the process of creating the Kickstarter, and like looking back on it now, like I think there might have been like some boxes that you check, and like, who are you and what are you doing, and
Okay.
like there might have even been like if you're interested, click this box type of thing. So I just kind of, like, again, I just followed all the prompts. I made sure I was prepared for it. Kyle and Dustin really helped me to make sure, like, these are all the things that you should do. So yeah, like but I think it's super cool that you called that out, because the other nice thing about it is like there are so many Kickstarter and so many other places that like there's a movement right now to really kind of help drive creators, and especially those that maybe are coming from different backgrounds and maybe are looking for help and funding and that type of stuff. Like it's just something cool that I really appreciate, because again, I'm new in this world of being the writer creator of a concept, but I've been a fan of this for my entire life. And so like for me, supporting independent artists, supporting others that are doing this stuff, helping people to make a living and to potentially do this full time, like that's what matters to me. Is like I want to help support people. I want to bring artists along. Like it's just, I think we have to do it for one another. So I'm really happy to see big organizations doing something similar and providing that level of support.
Oh man, I'm super excited to see what you do next, Lozo. And we're gonna have you back on the show in our big live party, in a couple of weeks here. But it's, you're a great addition to the community. I can already tell. I think you're gonna be a wonderful addition. People are gonna really gravitate towards you, towards what you're trying to do, your vision and your story. So everybody back CRHYME right now on Kickstarter. I'll put the link in the description. Lozo, do you have any last words you want to say to your newfound fans? I'm sure there's many of them.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Hey, check it out. Thank you for checking it out. If you can support it, great. If not, no big deal. Message me anyway. Let us know. Share your projects. You know what I mean? Like we're looking to support people as well. That's my biggest thing. Is like, a lot of people have helped me and mentored me and been a resource for me in this project and other projects, and I would love to do the same thing for other people as well. To put things out there, to help market, to help answer questions, to share what I learned in this whole process. As I went through it. So just really grateful for the support that we've gotten. Really excited to continue to make new friends and build new networks and work with other people that are doing creative work. And yeah, just keep on keeping on, because if you don't know, you might not know this, but as an independent creator, you actually inspire a lot of people like me. That's what I had to do. I was buying all different types of graphic novels and supporting Kickstarters. And I might have just been another person who spent the 20 or 30 bucks in your campaign. But I have a whole bookshelf full of independent novels and comic books that I thumbed through, that I read through, that really helped me with my story. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that are doing this work, because you might not know it, but you're inspiring the next person who's trying to put their work out as well.